Hello everybody, my name is Hannah and I am an animal keeper and the education coordinator here at Lubee Bat Conservancy in Gainesville, Florida. And today we are going to be going around and meeting all the bats and reptile that you can adopt symbolically at Lubee. So here is an example of some of our adoptions here. So in all of our adoptions, you are going to get a little species fact sheet, a bio about the bat you're adopting, as well as a couple of stickers and even a personalized certificate of adoption. Depending on your level of support, some adoptions also include some adorable bat plushies like this Mexican free-tailed one or this big brown bat plushie, or even a lovely masterpiece created by our bats. So our bats actually painted this, and our highest level adoption includes a bat painting. So come along with us as we meet these bats. All of our bat adoptions you can find on our website for more information, and all the money that goes towards them goes directly to our bats' care, whether that be for their diet, veterinary care, or enrichment. So the first adoptable bats that we're going to meet today are our Malayan flying foxes. So we're going to start with one of our male Malayan flying foxes. His name is Calvin. He's looking for a little treat here. And Malayan flying foxes are native to Southeast Asia, and they're actually the world's largest species of bat by wingspan. So these guys can get really big. They can get up to 6-foot wingspans, and Calvin is actually our largest bat here at Lubee Bat Conservancy. So his wingspan is about 5.5 feet. He's not showing it off for us right now, but you can even see when he's kind of wrapped up just how big his wings are. Calvin was born in 2001, so he just turned 25 recently, which is really exciting. And these guys out in the wilds can live anywhere from like 10 to 15 years would be a really good lifespan. But when you're in captivity and you're getting things like veterinary care and all of your food is provided for you, you don't have to find a safe place to live, that can really double some species lifespan. So we've had these guys live into their 30s, which is really neat. And Calvin's a sweet boy. He's also very vocal though, so if you're ever in the pen meeting him, you might hear him do a little bork. Nay, nay. Okay, we all good? Okay. So now we are with two of our female Malayan flying foxes. First up we have Bellatrix right here. Bellatrix has a really gray face, so these guys can vary in color, whether they're darker red or brown or black, sometimes even gray. So she's pretty noticeable by her gray face, and Bellatrix was born in 2005. So she is currently 21 years old, and she's a larger one of our females. These guys can kind of vary in weight from anywhere from like 1.5 pounds to 3 pounds. She's gonna be closer to our 3-pound range. Right here, not one of our adoptable bats, but this is Nene, and she's looking for a little snack. So we'll go ahead and give her a piece real quick. And we'll also talk about Beulah, who is right here. Beulah is another one of our adoptable bats. We'll go ahead and give her a little snack here. There you go, girl. She actually has, it's more subtle than Bellatrix, but a really small kind of white line on the side of her face. That is a good identifier for her. And Beulah is 17 years old. She was born in 2009. And both these ladies are super sweet. Now, Malayan flying foxes in the wild are actually listed as endangered, which is really unfortunate. This can be due to things like habitat loss or hunting. But here at Lubee, we're part of a species survival plan for these guys. So we do breed these ladies. Neither of them are currently pregnant or have babies right now, but Bellatrix has been a mom in the past. And these guys' gestation is usually around 180 days. So maybe in the future we'll be seeing some babies from these ladies. So if you are ever interested, you can also log on our website, lubee.org, and go to our Explore cameras. You can also get there through explore.org. And basically what these cameras are is it's a 24/7 live feed of these ladies. So you can see what they're up to any time of the day. So look for Bellatrix's super gray face, or maybe even Beulah's white line on her face. It's a really great way to see what they're up to at the nighttime or even early in the morning. So now we are with two of our variable flying foxes. Variable flying foxes are also native to Southeast Asia as well as the Solomon Islands and Papua New Guinea. And these guys look pretty similar to our Malayan flying foxes, but they are smaller. So rather than a 6-foot wingspan, these guys have more of like a 3 to 4 foot wingspan. And they weigh a little less as well, more around that 1.5 pound mark. So the two boys that I'm joined with here and one of our Malayan flying foxes, Boneyard, get him a little piece of cantaloupe. We have Frick is right on my right here, and Frack is over here, and these boys are actually twins, which is not at all common in these guys. Usually moms will just have a single pup that they care for and raise, but occasionally we do get twins. So in the 36 years that Lubee has been around, we have had 4 cases of twins, and these lovely boys were born in 2017, so they are currently 8 years old. And when they were born, one of them was actually super red, where one of them was actually pretty dark. So they didn't necessarily come out identical, and they still don't look identical as well. Frack has more of a right wrinkled ear, which he's kind of hiding right now. He wants to eat his cantaloupe in private, so that's totally okay. But these boys can definitely be mischievous. They get up to all sorts of shenanigans with all of their friends. You ready, Sunshine? So we are now with one of our little golden-mantled flying foxes. This is Sunshine right here. Get him a little piece of cantaloupe. And little golden-mantled flying foxes are a much smaller species of flying fox. So these guys only weigh about 7 ounces, which is about the size of a large apple. And their wingspans are only ranging from around 1.5 feet to 2 feet long. These guys are native to the Philippines and Indonesia, and they're actually rather solitary species, especially the males. You'll kind of find them hanging out more on their own, and that's the case here at Lubee too. So Sunshine's kind of off on his own. You'll see not really any other bats around me right now. So Sunshine actually has a pretty special story. He was born in 2008, making him 18 years old now, and he was born breech. So coming out the wrong way, his feet first instead of his head. And he was having a lot of trouble hanging on to mom when he was born. So keepers made several attempts to reunite him with his mom, but unfortunately they were unsuccessful. So Sunshine was hand raised, but he is a super friendly guy because of it. So he is actually our educational ambassador. So he goes to local schools and libraries with us. So people that necessarily can't make it to Lubee can still meet a flying fox and a bat. And learn all about the challenges they face in the wild, as well as how helpful they are in the wild as well, and of course how cute they are. You have a crowd now. Hello. Okay, that's everyone. You were born for the camera. You bully. I'm running out of cantaloupe. Do you want this? Noreen, you're just gonna stand there and eat it? Cool. So now we are with some of our Rodrigues flying foxes, or Rodrigues fruit bats. Currently we are joined by Grace and Noreen. Grace is one of our adoptable bats, and Noreen is kind of hanging out nearby, getting some cantaloupe, trying to steal the spotlight as well. But Grace has a pretty special story as well. She was also hand-raised by keepers due to her mom rejecting her, and she also used to be one of our educational bats because she is super social and friendly and loves the spotlight. But she has since retired because Grace is now 26 years old. She was born in 1999. Girls, ladies. She now just stays at Lubee. She doesn't travel anymore, and she gets all of the cantaloupe that she deserves. What are we doing? We're fighting a little, that's okay. They're just kind of saying, get out of my space, with some different vocalizations and maybe using their thumbs to kind of bat each other away. But Rodrigues flying foxes actually have a really cool, successful conservation story. So they are endemic to the Rodrigues Islands, which is close to Madagascar. And back in 1976, there was actually only estimated to be about 75 individuals of these guys left. Luckily, this was noticed, and 25 of them them were brought into captivity for a captive breeding program, and slowly over the years they were re-released back into the wild, where now in 2026 there are over 20,000 of these guys in the wild, which is super amazing. Would you like another piece of cantaloupe, ma'am? So what you saw Grace do was a bat spat is what we call it here at Lubee. Basically, fruit bats are like juicers. So when they take a yummy bite of fruit or vegetable, they're going to put it in their mouth and use their long pollinator tongues and the roof of their mouth to press it up against there and swallow all the juice and the nutrients and things like the rind, some of the pulp, the seeds even. They're gonna compress into a tight wad and they're just gonna spit that out. So that is what we call the bat spat. And when they're doing this in the wild and they're flying and spitting those all over the rainforest, that's really great for seed dispersal. So we get all sorts of seeds all over the rainforest to sprout more trees, which is super awesome. She's the world's slowest chewer. Good job. Here's a piece for you, Doja Bat. Good job. So now we are inside one of our night houses, which is the indoor part of our bat enclosures. So our bats always have the option if they want to be inside or outside. And some of our African straw-colored fruit bats are hanging out inside right now. So right here we have Captain Caveman. See, there we go. Good job, buddy. And he, like I said, is one of our African straw-colored fruit bats. So these guys are native to all different countries in Africa. And they are actually the second largest species of bat in Africa. And these guys are still fruit bats, but they're not flying foxes like the other bats we've been meeting today. So all flying foxes are fruit bats, but not all fruit bats are flying foxes. And African straw-colored fruit bats are really cool because they actually have the world's largest mammal migration. So over 12 million individuals will fly thousands of miles from all different parts of Africa to a national park in Zambia, where they will feast on all sorts of fruits. And this happens in October to December each year. And these guys also have a silkier fur appearance, you might notice as well. They are not quite as big as our Rodrigues flying foxes, but a little bit bigger than our little golden-mantled flying foxes. And Captain Caveman loves his snacks. His favorite food is actually banana. A lot of the African straw-colored fruit bats love banana. It is one of their absolute favorites. So now we are with one of our Florida native bats. So this kind of bat is an insectivore bat, whereas all the other kinds of bats we have been meeting today are fruit bats. So we are joined by Tortilla, who is a Mexican free-tailed bat, one of 13 species we have native to Florida of bats. And these guys will live in bat houses that people put up, just like the ones we have here at Lubee, as well as all sorts of different structures that they can find to roost in. These guys are actually the world's fastest mammal. They can fly up to 100 miles per hour, which is pretty incredible. They'll be zooming around catching insects, and they are pretty small. Their bodies are only a couple inches long. Their wingspans can get up to a foot in length, so they look a little bit bigger when they're flying in the night sky, as opposed to right now when Tortilla has her wings up against her body. So Tortilla actually came to us from the University of Florida. Somebody found her sadly on the ground injured. The vets at the University of Florida thought that she was probably attacked by a cat. She had some injuries to her left wing, which she is now missing part of, as well as she was missing some toes. So due to that left wing injury, she was not able to be re-released back into the wild after she healed because she doesn't have the ability to fly. So she lives here at Lubee with us, where she gets to help educate people all about bats, insectivore bats, and how important they are for the environment and insect control. And Tortilla is estimated to be around 5 years old. These guys can live around 8 years, is pretty average in the wild, but in captivity that can also double with all of the care that they get, the food, the yummy mealworms, veterinary care, all that sort of thing. So now I am not with a bat, as you can see, but I am with one of our reptile residents. This right here is Ziggy Stardust, and he is an African spurred tortoise. These guys are also commonly referred to as sulcata tortoises, and they are the world's third largest species of tortoise. So you might be wondering what we are doing with a tortoise here at a bat conservancy. But Ziggy was actually found just roaming the streets of Gainesville. So somebody found him and they contacted the University of Florida vets, where they tried to find his owner, but nobody claimed Ziggy. And he also received a clean bill of health, which was awesome. But it was thought that he probably escaped somebody's yard. So these guys are really amazing at digging. So you can see these kind of spurs on his legs. That's where they get their name, African spurred tortoise. Those help them dig. So they'll dig burrows in the wild, and Ziggy has even dug his own here to go in when it's really hot outside for temperature regulation. So it's cooler there when it's really hot outside, and they can also stay warmer when it is cold outside. So these guys can live a really long time. Their lifespans can range up to 100 years old, which is a really long time. And these guys are pretty popular in the pet trade, but we always encourage people to please do your research before adopting, because in the pet store you can get these guys really small, but they grow really big. Ziggy weighs over 100 pounds, and some males can even weigh up to 200 pounds. And we are on the move today. Ziggy's getting his exercise in. Ziggy's a really sweet boy though. He loves playing in his pool, hanging out in his burrow, meeting guests, and getting pets. Tortoises can feel their shell, like pets through it, because it's connected to their spine. So Ziggy loves some rubs and getting his shell cleaned off. So African spurred tortoises are native to sub-Saharan Africa, and they also are fully herbivorous, meaning they don't eat any meat. Ziggy is showing us right now that he's munching on some grass. And as part of his diet here at Lubee, he gets all sorts of leafy greens. He also enjoys some carrot, sweet potato, and some specialized tortoise pellets as well. Ziggy himself is 26 years old, but he's got a long life ahead of him, hopefully, as these guys, like I said earlier, can live to be up to 100 years old. Thank you so much to everyone for hanging out with us today and meeting all of our adoptable bats here at Lubee Bat Conservancy. As a reminder, all of our adoptions are available on our website at lubee.org, and you can also come visit us by scheduling a tour online. And we also have our Florida Bat Festival coming up in October 24th to be exact. It's a Saturday and it's a great time. You get to come and see our bats, visit different vendors, there's kids zones and educational talks. So once again, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.